So you were here this morning
Yeah.
with your daughter
Right.
because of an asthma attack.
Correct.
They put the monitor, the heart monitor on the finger,
Right.
right? And then what happened?
So actually, I was speaking with a doctor, and then what happened was I looked over and I saw that my daughter had the wire in her mouth. So I said, honey, get that out your mouth. So I went to get it out her mouth, and I realized that the wire had dried up blood on it, right? So it immediately put me in shock. I couldn't even believe there was dried blood on it. So I spoke to the doctor, and I said, I took it off her finger immediately. I said, hey, doc, look at this. You know, this is dried blood, right? And my daughter had it in the mouth. Like, what kind of sanitation is this, right? And they immediately just laughed it off, and they said that it wasn't that serious, that it was already dried blood, as if I'm supposed to know what does that mean. I told them I wanted to file a complaint. No one knew the procedure it took to file a complaint. They gave me the runaround for about 3 hours, right? On the procedures, that it wasn't that serious. Somebody came and wiped it with alcohol. I was concerned because I was wondering if I had to, get my daughter tested or now, being that she licked a wire that had someone else's dried blood. After everything, I was able to file a complaint about 2.5 hours later. And it's still, to this moment, I can't even believe it, that with everything going on, there was I don't know whose blood this was. I don't know how it even got there,
Yeah, I tell you what, I would panic.
Right.
If I was, first, I'm not a doctor.
Right,
okay?
right.
I would not know if dry blood is good or not. But if they tell me that dry blood was good, I would say lick it.
Right. I should have told them to lick it, but
prove it to me. If it's not
they
bad,
told me.
then you lick it, because my daughter just licked it.
Right. What they said that once blood dries up, any deadly pathogens are dead, right? And I told them, I said, I don't know this. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a concerned parent. And so it was obnoxious, the excuses I got. They said that it's the demographic. They deal with a lot of mental health issues. They blamed it on one nurse said I shouldn't have let my daughter lick the thing.
So they shouldn't be the one supervising the patient.
Right.
You
But
should be
and I told
supervising
them,
the
I
patient.
said, she's a 3-year-old. I was talking to the doctor, and when I immediately realized, I pulled it away from her. I saw Lorraine just comment.
Yeah, Lorraine just comment. Yes.
Right. So the whole purpose of this is, there's a lot of good people that work in this hospital, but I think that they need a bit of sensitivity training. They need a little more training on the procedure it takes. Like, one thing that spoke volume to me was that they said there was no one in the hospital for me to file a complaint, right? But there was someone there to charge my insurance, right?
Right away.
Immediately. I came in, there was someone there, hey, what's your insurance? How are we going to get paid? And then when I wanted to file a report, they said no one's there. I would have to come back later. Another thing that spoke volume was they said that because they have so much mental health issues, it's hard for them to keep up with all the equipment. And I feel like there should be some type of procedure. I'm not a doctor. Again, I'm not a nurse. I don't know. I know a lot of people that work here that are great at what they do. But I'm not sure that that's accurate. You know what I mean? I filed the report with the health department. I took pictures. There's pictures of everything. It's all documented by doctors. I was able to speak to the VP of operations, who came down after maybe 2-3 hours. She was awesome. She was there was only 2 doctors that said sorry. Everyone else said that, you know, there's nothing I can do, that I'm making a big deal out of it. And ultimately, I really wasn't. You know, I could have been, this is making a big deal out of it. I could have even raised my voice, and I didn't because my daughter was there with her asthma. And I didn't want to put her in a stage where she felt nervous or anything like that, you know? So I composed myself, I took notes, I asked for names, and I went about, you know, another thing was I told them immediately after all this, I said, listen, I just want to go. Just give me my discharge papers or I'm leaving. And immediately they said, if you leave, your insurance isn't going to pay this, right? And so I was obligated
Money
to
again.
stay. Yeah, I stood because I didn't want the bill, right? And so so my whole message is like to even to the officials, if you're watching this, ask your constituents. There's many people who have stories about the hospital, how they handle our community, how they take care of us, and it's so unfortunate because this is our community hospital. You know, we should be able to rely on this place to come and seek the services we need. My daughter's 3 years old. You know what I mean? She doesn't know any better. You know, she doesn't know who was the patient before her. She doesn't care who was the patient before her. You know,
Well,
she just knew that she couldn't breathe at the moment.
You know, Hector, even if it's an adult, even
Correct.
if it's me or you go there and somebody gives you something that has blood stains on it.
Right, especially with everything that's going on.
Especially with everything that's going on. You know, we always say that hygiene is extremely important.
Right.
We teach our kids not to pick things from the ground, from the
Right.
floor, and put on their mouths because of contamination.
Right,
We don't
right,
know.
right.
We tell people not to touch syringes, even though those syringes are already,
Right.
the blood is already dry.
Right.
But we always tell them not to touch it because afraid of contamination,
Right.
hepatitis and all kind of stuff.
Right, that's what I was nervous about.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I was actually nervous
Yeah.
about. And
Again, I'm not a doctor. I don't
Right.
know, you know, if it's true or not true, but I know that it would give me a hell of a bad feeling
Right.
if I was to come to a hospital and I see something that is blood stained.
Right.
And now imagine a parent sees his daughter, his boy,
Right.
with something that is blood stained
Right.
in his mouth. or
Right.
her mouth.
Immediately, I didn't realize. When I realized, I told the doctor, and the fact that they said, you know, oh, it's all right, you know, it happens. It shouldn't happen. We're in a
shouldn't
hospital.
happen.
I feel like this should. I don't know. I feel like it's logical. You know, there should be some type of procedure where things get cleaned as people use it or as patients come in and out. There should be like an intermission where you clean these things. And there wasn't. I don't know whose blood this was. They don't know whose patient. They were just like, their communication skills was horrible. It was, like I said, no one said sorry till about 2 hours later.
But one of the points, you know what it is? That blood was there.
Right.
That means they did not notice.
Right. Who
So
knows?
that blood could have been fresh and somebody put it on their mouth.
Right. You know,
Because
so
it wasn't clean.
Right. So now I gotta I made an appointment with the my daughter's main doctor, and he's gonna do the blood work and all that stuff just to make sure, you know, she's all right.
You gotta do
But
it.
it's
Yeah.
unfortunate, you know what I'm saying? Community members shouldn't have to come to this hospital and worry, especially now with like the coronavirus. You know, those are little things that we have to keep on top of. You know, they're telling us to use hand sanitizer, clean
Exactly.
our hands, and
Knuckle, hello.
Yeah, knuckle, elbow, and I come to the hospital and there's the equipment they're using on us is blood stained.
Yeah.
You know, it's
And
just it's wild. It's absolutely wild.
It's just wild. Now you filed a complaint.
Yeah, I filed the complaint with the New York State Board of Health. I filed the complaint here. I was able to file it maybe 2 hours later. They said they'll get back to me. And it just, the way they handled the whole situation was extremely unprofessional. The fact that they laughed and said, "Oh, don't worry about that. You know, it's nothing."
So this was a laughing matter.
It was to me.
You
I was
panicking,
I'm
and
panicking.
they're
I'm
laughing.
scared, and they're like, "No, don't worry about it. You know, whatever was in the blood, it's dried up. It's dead." And I'm like, "How am I supposed to know this? I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. You know, I didn't even I wasn't even sure if they were saying the truth. I feel like they were just saying anything
To calm you down,
to calm
to
me down. You know, so I could be okay. But the fact that they helped me hostage almost for insurance. You know, that was what blew my mind when I said, you know what, since I can't get nothing resolved, I'm just gonna leave. And the woman said, hey, if you leave, your insurance isn't gonna cover this.
So this is all about the money.
Right. So so I had to sit there for another hour and wait for discharge papers, and that's wild.
It's crazy. So guys,
That's
Yonkers
wild.
Voice on site.
Please, if you have a story about something that happened in St. Joseph, please leave it in the comment. Reach out to your local council. I'm gonna keep in touch with all the council. I'm gonna reach out to them. I'm sure they'll support us 1,000%. And yeah, let's gather up some stories. Let's gather up what we need to do as a community, and just make sure that they're like practicing OSHA regulations. Even it's wild.
Guys,
it's crazy.
Things like this, we need to talk about it.
Right.
Your health is at stake here. Even if, like they said, it don't matter, it's nothing. No, it does matter. If a father or a mother feels that way, then it does matter.
Right.
It does matter. It needs to be handled properly.
And if anyone can help, or has any information for me as to what would be the procedures I should follow next, I have pictures. I documented everything. I have pictures of the blood wires. I have pictures of them wiping it after. I have pictures of, I documented everything, like I said, because I was trying to compose myself and just create the paper trail and take the notes down so that when I was alone and I wasn't with my daughter, that I can do what I have to do.
Exactly. Because
I just didn't want to put her in a panic.
No, and you did right. You acted properly, and that's the way it's supposed to be. So guys, if you have a story, if something happened to you at this hospital, let us know. This needs to be documented. This is a community hospital, and they cannot be taking care of us the way they are.
Right.
So it's important. Report, talk about it, document it, and contact us if you have something that it's worthwhile to know, that it's worthwhile for the community to know.
Right.
We don't want to be the page where people come to bitch about it. We want to be the page where people come to talk about things that are important. Actions,
and
not words.
I want to thank Yonkers Voice for coming and reporting this. I called Channel 12, and they said they had breaking news and they had to deal with coronavirus. And I don't think they made the correlation as to, something like this being,
But Yonkers Voice did.
You did. So I appreciate that. Yeah, I definitely respect it.
So we here reporting. If it matters to you, it does matter to us. And we are here to talk about issues that are of concern to you, the community, and that's why Yonkers Voice exists. It's for you. Yonkers Voice is not my voice. I am not the voice of Yonkers at all. Yonkers Voice is your voice. We are all the voice of Yonkers. Stay tuned for more. Please let us know the outcome.
I will definitely give an update.
So stay tuned. Take care, guys.